6:30 now, time for the Chris Moyles Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Chris Moyles Show, live on BBC Radio 1 and live on the World Wide Web, or maybe UK only web. Anyway, what a weekend. I went to the Grand Prix yesterday.
How was that?
Just ridiculously, unbelievably exciting, and everybody was just so nice. All the Vodafone people, all the McLaren Mercedes people, all the F1 people. I mean, everybody was just... It was ridiculous. Now the camera is on... Look at you. Look at
what?
The camera is now focusing on your... Look.
On my what? Well, they shouldn't be doing that down there, should it?
That's an invasion of privacy,
Yeah, it
surely.
is. That's absolutely an invasion of privacy. Having to focus on Stephen and the twin. Outrageous, that. Whoever's doing that. I'm not a piece of meat, I'm a journalist.
And a piece of meat.
Yeah.
So they gave me the lowdown on Carrie's trip to the Grand Prix the other day when she was changing a tyre and changed the nose on the car and blah blah blah.
It's on Friday, wasn't it?
Did the nose cone, did the wheel, and had to go on the gun.
She wasn't the slowest person changing the nose cone on a car. There's somebody who works for them who was slower than Carrie.
No, we didn't believe you when you said
And I
that.
met him, the big dopey lump, Mr. Slow. But I also met the guys who said Carrie managed to break a few things while she was here, and they showed me what she broke. She had this big contraption which they pull out. Oh, it's almost like a massive fire hose, and they stick it into the wheel, and it takes the wheel, not something to change the car, to change the wheels. And she broke 2 little things on there.
Which you reckon were worth 1,500 quid a piece, didn't you?
And
No,
also-
the
and-
nut that I broke.
And also, they have never done that before, ever. They've never heard of it. They've never known of anyone do it. It's certainly never happened to them in the history of them being engineers. They've never broken 1, let alone 2 of these things on this. And they went, honestly, it's never happened before. I thought that was a joke. And they went, no. And they're all laughing about it. I go, no. And I'm like, how much is that? About 1,500 quid, something like that. And then somebody else said that she also broke the mirror on Hokey Cokey Clyden's car.
I didn't.
Did you?
I didn't break it. I brushed it with my foot as I was climbing out of the car, but I didn't break it.
They said you broke it.
I didn't. I promise you I didn't break it.
That would be thousands and
I
thousands,
know, I was
wouldn't it?
really, I was trying to be so, it's the whole thing of when you're trying to be careful, you turn into a clumsy idiot. And when I was climbing out of the car, I did brush it with my foot.
They also did
it was
say
fine.
that they were going to let Carrie sit in the car, but she wouldn't fit.
I did get in, but I couldn't, because basically they're all the fiberglass chair. It's all moulded to their exact shapes. And he's got little tiny hips, and I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I'm slightly more womanly, and I couldn't get my bottom.
Basically, they said her ass was too big and she couldn't fit in the car.
Did they? Is that what they said?
I got in the car, I just couldn't sit down into his seat properly.
But they said you were lots of fun.
Oh, thank
They were so nice. All that McLaren
lovely.
Mercedes team was so nice, and it was just amazing.
So you went in on a helicopter, did you, like we did last time?
Dave, I couldn't have had. Honestly, I felt like royalty, and I couldn't have got any closer to the action than if I'd have been sitting in the car driving it.
Wow.
We were in the garage when Lewis and Hokey Cokey got in their cars and drove out the garage to go
Really?
to the starting grid. Then we went onto the starting grid.
Did you walk it?
Yeah.
Did you walk the grid?
Well,
Little bit.
here's the thing. I'd said as well, Vernon Kay did his show live from Silverstone on the Grand Prix on Saturday, and I rang him halfway through a show, and I'm having a chat, and I said, have you seen Martin Brundle? He went, he's next to me, I'm about to interview him. I went, well, if he sees me if I manage to get on the starting grid and he sees me, well, would he come and say hello to me? Because that's the ultimate accolade, I think, as a Formula 1 fan. So he says, yeah. So we walk into the starting grid, and the first person I see is Martin Brundle. And he goes, hi, Chris Martin. What are you doing? He goes, oh, sound effects.
He does a good
He said,
sound
where are you
effect.
going to be? He said, I'll come up and say hello to you, but you'll probably be with Lewis, won't you? And I went, well, yeah, I'd imagine so. He goes, well, you're back in Milton Keynes, so we won't see you because I'll probably... And basically, he wouldn't be that far down.
Yeah, because he was
Lewis-
19th, wasn't he,
Lewis
Lewis?
is at the back, pretty much. He wasn't last, but
I
he was
think,
at the
didn't he
back.
get bumped up to 18th because Sebastian Bourdais did something, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think he did.
Yeah. So Martin was there, but I didn't get to go
Yeah.
on. But I was on 5 Live.
Yes, I know. You spoke to Holly Samos.
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
I
Oh, she
spoke
was
to
talking
somebody
about
else.
you when I tuned in. Ah.
I met Holly, saw Holly, and then I was stood there next to Lewis's car, and this woman comes up with headphones and goes, "You what, love?
It was Ellie.
5 Live?" And she goes, "I'm with Chris Moyles. So what are you doing here?" And I went, I'm just here. And I suddenly realise when she goes, well, anyway, Chris, as much as it's exciting to speak to you, Holly's with somebody else more exciting, so I've got to go. And I'm like, oh, what, are we on now? You could have told me. I could have gone like that. I'm just, effing here, love, blah, blah, blah. Lighting up a fag, whatever.
What, in the Formula 1 garage?
No, this is out the starting grid. Come on, get your references right, Dave.
I
Novice.
watched it yesterday, and I was so wanting you to be, in Martin Brundle's line of vision. I was just going, go on, where's Chris?
I was
Where's
so
Chris?
close to being on the television so many times. Then we're watching the start of the race in the McLaren Mercedes garage where the cars are, and there's Lewis's dad sitting with the Pussycat doll, which is what everyone calls her.
Yeah.
Nicole Schwarzenegger.
That's
Yeah,
the one,
I thought she was going to be in. He told me she was going to be doing an audition on Broadway, but she obviously made it. So
Chelsea didn't get it.
Oh, Dave, so negative.
So then the cameraman comes in and films them watching the thing, and we're sitting behind them. Well, do we do that lean thing? So you kind of, that would be a bit.
Hi.
Made famous by Greg James on Hell's Kitchen.
I don't know. Do you do that?
Yeah, he had a good old lean into Claudia Winkleman.
So to speak.
Yeah.
He nearly fell off his chair.
He did, actually, yeah.